Hey guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. Welcome back. One of the other channels I kind of frequent on YouTube, we're discussing, physical versus digital. And obviously, I'm very pro physical. I like having my stuff. I like, as long as I got electricity, I can play my games. I don't have to, worry about Sega, for instance. Nobody would have thought, 20 years ago, Sega would be not in the console market, but you don't have to worry about companies going out of business. You don't have to worry about them shutting down servers or anything. If you own your stuff, you own your stuff. Which, in today's world, where it's slowly going digital. But I also have another reason, and it's going to be a weird discussion. Um, Recently, um, my dad's up in age, but he's in really good health. He'll be 79 this year. But earlier this year, we found out he has Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, or Jacob. Um, I'll put it in print. It's hard to pronounce. It is a rare brain disease which happens when proteins in your brain misfold, and it just basically starts a chain reaction. Pretty much like the human version of mad cow disease, or I think wandering deer disease. And if you Google this, most people don't live for a few months. Usually 6 months to 2 years is what the doctors told my dad. They They pull fluids from your spine, and the only place in the United States is in Salt Lake City, which they've sent it off and had it tested. He did test positive for it, but right now he's in pretty good spirits. I mean, other than his memory is not that great, he's doing pretty good. He went to the doctor back in about almost this time last year because he's starting to have trouble with his memory and stuff. He thought he was just getting Alzheimer's and stuff. He didn't realize he was going to have a incurable brain disease. Um, Anyway, to get me to where I'm at and why I bought this, um, my dad is not in the video games, but the memory I do have is he got the PlayStation for me when it first came out, which I want to say it came out in like September or something that year. I remember seeing it at Walmart, and I was like, "Hey, this was the thing I was asking for Christmas." So my dad went and he put it on layaway, and he went and picked it up a couple days later, which I talked him into giving it to me early. That's what kids do sometimes. And he did. And if you know anything, it came with a demo disc. And me and one of my friends, we paid the ever living crap on that demo disc. And I don't know if it's because Dad wanted to get us something or he just got tired of seeing the same freaking game over and over. But one of the first games that we got was Ridge Racer in the loan box because PlayStation was all loan box back then. Um, this is one of the few games that my dad ever actually like mentioned how I guess at the time you got to think that Mario Kart or RC Pro Am is about the only racing games he's seen. Like, either me playing or I think he did play pretty RC Pro Am a few times, but like I said, that wasn't much of a gamer. I just remember him telling somebody like how real the graphics and everything looked and all that stuff, and obviously he was hyped enough that he was stopping off after work and actually picking up games here and there for me. And that's probably like the only time that's ever happened, really, that he was just getting excited. So, what does this have to do with physical media versus digital? Well, to me, the other part of collecting anything, it's not just video games, it's anything, is usually there's a memory tied to it. Like, where were you when you got it, when you first saw it, when you first played it, so on and so forth. And this right here is, I'm sorry, I get a little emotional. It's something, I have other things to remember my father from. And like I said, he's not going yet. He's still fine right now. But the thing he's been diagnosed with, you don't know. Like I said, there's no treatments, there's no cure. And I'm sure it's a thing that most people's never heard of, because I never heard of it until now. But I wanted Ridge Racer and I wanted in the loan box. And this is gonna stay in my game room forever. Because every time I look at it, it's gonna remind me of my father. And you just, it's gonna trigger a memory every time I look at it. And you just can't get that with some digital media. And this thing is very tight. I want to break the disc. And if you go looking for this, any loan box PS1 or Saturn game, especially Ridge Racer, it's like every one you see, the case is going to be broke. So I try to pick one with a good looking manual and a good looking disc, and figure out purchase a new loan box for it, which we got right here. And I decided to get a box protector for it. I don't like collecting the loan boxes. I mean, not because I don't think they're cool. I had a bunch of them. I really wish this was the original, but I always gave my stuff away to friends and family whenever they needed stuff, especially my nieces and nephews. My sorry, I'm bending this thing, so it makes some noise. My PS1 I actually gave to my stepsister, which God knows what she did with it. And I wish I kept it because there was a bunch of valuable games mixed in with that. But nobody had any idea then that old video games would be worth anything. And of course, just like now, I mean, I always thought that I would be able to reacquire everything very cheap, because that's how it used to be. Apologies, trying to get this thing to bend. And that's kind of one of the point I make. Like when digital's around, you're not gonna have this kind of stuff to look back on. I mean, it's just you're gonna be nothing. I mean, the other thing is, anytime a company decides to pull it or do whatever, even when it's on your hard drive, they can have something to do with the rights and just make it where you can't even play it on your own console without some kind of internet ID check. And like I said, till the day I die, I'm going to keep this game just like this. I will do some gameplay of it here in the future. Just kind of in the memory of my dad. The other thing I think my dad thought highly of this game was how freaking terrible I was at it when I first got it. And then, I learned how to power slide and do all that stuff. And it got to the point where I pretty much mastered it. Beat that freaking black car. I can't remember what it was called. But anyways, I hope you guys don't mind hearing my junk, my story. And like I said, it's memories. I mean, that's the thing about collecting. No matter what it is, baseball cards or something like that. A lot of times there's just memories tied to it. You don't have that physical thing, you're just not going to get that. Anyway, made it this far. I appreciate if you subscribe and like the video. Definitely helps out. I got a long way from the 1,000 subscribers you need, and a long way from the 500 at this point too. But any and all helps, and I do appreciate it. Everybody have a blessed day. Thank you.